Do you know why putting 3 coins under your pillow has been a closely guarded Jewish secret for over 2,000 years? It's not superstition. It's not folklore. It's a precise spiritual technology that activates wealth energy while you sleep. And tonight, I'm going to reveal exactly how to do it correctly. I'm Rabbi Solomon, and for over 40 years, I've studied the hidden teachings of the Kabbalah and the Talmud. My grandfather was a rabbi in Jerusalem, and his grandfather before him taught these same practices in the old country. This knowledge has been passed down through my family for 7 generations. What I'm about to share with you isn't something you'll find in any book. This is a bedroom ritual that has been kept within certain Jewish families precisely because of how powerful it is. And here's what's remarkable. Just this week, while global markets are experiencing unprecedented volatility and financial experts are warning about economic uncertainty, the families who practice this ancient method continue to prosper. They're not worried. They know something that most people don't. The method I'll reveal in the middle of this teaching is so effective that many who apply it correctly report unexpected money appearing within 24 to 48 hours. Not weeks, not months, days. But you must watch until the very end, because if you miss even one detail, the entire ritual becomes ineffective. And I'm going to explain exactly why each element matters according to ancient Kabbalistic principles. Let me take you back to when I first learned this secret. I was 19 years old, studying in Jerusalem. My grandfather called me into his small study one evening after Shabbat had ended. The room smelled of old books and candle wax. He looked at me with those knowing eyes and said, "Shlomo, tonight I'm going to teach you something that will change your relationship with money forever." At first, I didn't understand what he meant. I was young and focused on my religious studies, not on material wealth. But my grandfather explained that the Creator never intended for his children to struggle financially. Poverty, he told me, is not a virtue. It's an obstacle that prevents you from fulfilling your divine purpose. He showed me passages in the Zohar, the primary text of Kabbalah, that describe how specific objects can become vessels for spiritual energy. He explained that certain metals, particularly coins, have properties that connect the physical world to the spiritual realms of abundance. That night, he taught me the 3-coin ritual. I followed his instructions exactly as he gave them, and within 3 days, something remarkable happened. A relative I hadn't heard from in years contacted me with an unexpected gift of money. A small debt that someone owed me, which I had forgotten about completely, was suddenly repaid. An opportunity for paid teaching work appeared from nowhere. I was stunned, but my grandfather just smiled and said, "The universe responds to those who know how to ask correctly." Now, you might be wondering why this works, and this is where the ancient wisdom becomes profound. The Talmud teaches that sleep is 1/60th of death. This isn't meant to frighten you. It means that during sleep, your soul temporarily ascends to higher spiritual realms. You're more connected to divine energy when you're asleep than when you're awake and distracted by daily concerns. The Kabbalah explains that this nightly journey of the soul creates a unique opportunity. When you place the correct objects near your head while you sleep, they become infused with the spiritual energy your soul encounters. Coins, which represent material abundance in the physical world, become charged with prosperity energy from the spiritual realm. But here's what most people don't understand. It's not just about putting any coins under any pillow at any time. The specific number, the type of coins, the placement, the words you speak, the intention you hold, all of these elements must align precisely for the ritual to work. The ancient rabbis discovered through generations of practice that 3 coins create a specific energetic pattern. 3 represents the 3 patriarchs, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. It represents the 3 columns of the tree of life in Kabbalah. It represents completeness in a way that 1 or 2 coins cannot achieve. When you place 3 coins in the correct position, you're creating a spiritual antenna that broadcasts your intention for prosperity into the higher realms while simultaneously receiving abundance energy back into your life. This is not magic. This is spiritual science that has been tested and refined over thousands of years. I know exactly what you're experiencing right now in your life. You wake up every morning with financial pressure weighing on your mind. You work hard, probably harder than most people around you. But no matter what you do, money seems to slip through your fingers like water. Bills arrive faster than income. Unexpected expenses appear just when you thought you were getting ahead. And that feeling of financial security always seems just out of reach. I know because I've sat across from thousands of people just like you over the past 4 decades, and I've heard the same story over and over again. You've tried budgeting, but it doesn't address the root cause. You've tried working more hours, but there's only so much time in a day. You've tried positive thinking, but affirmations alone don't pay bills, and everyone around you has advice that sounds good, but produces no real change. Here's the truth that nobody wants to tell you. The conventional approaches to wealth focus entirely on the physical level. Earn more, spend less, invest wisely. These are not wrong, but they're incomplete. They ignore the fundamental spiritual laws that govern how abundance flows into your life. The Talmud teaches that sustenance comes from heaven. This means that the ultimate source of your prosperity is spiritual, not just material. If you have spiritual blockages, limiting beliefs, negative energy patterns, or ancestral money wounds, no amount of physical effort will break through those barriers. Most financial advice is like trying to fill a bucket with holes in it. You keep pouring in money, but it keeps leaking out because you haven't addressed the energetic holes that are draining your prosperity. You've been told that wealth comes purely from hard work and smart decisions. That's a partial truth that functions as a complete lie. I've studied the ancient texts for over 40 years. I've seen what works and what doesn't, and I can tell you with absolute certainty that the Jewish families who have built and maintained wealth for generations understand something different. They know that the spiritual dimension must be addressed first, and then the physical efforts become effective. The Jewish people understood this thousands of years ago. That's why we've been able to rebuild fortunes after every persecution, every exile, every attempt to destroy us economically. It's not about intelligence or luck or even hard work. It's about knowing how to align with universal laws that most people have never learned. Here's the universal truth. The Kabbalah teaches that everything in the physical world has a spiritual root. Money is not just paper and metal. It's crystallized energy with a spiritual dimension. When you learn to work with the spiritual root of wealth, the physical manifestation follows naturally. When I first truly understood this, everything clicked. I realized that all my previous efforts had been addressing symptoms rather than causes. The 3-coin ritual works precisely because it addresses the spiritual root of prosperity while you're in the optimal state for spiritual receptivity, sleep. Now, I'm going to reveal the exact method. This comes directly from Kabbalistic tradition, refined through generations of practice within my family. It's been used for centuries, and it works. But before I show you the steps, you need to understand something critical. This is not a game. This is not something you do casually or half-heartedly. When you activate these ancient spiritual laws, real forces begin to move, real energy begins to shift, and you will see real results, but only if you follow every step exactly as I teach it. The precision matters because each element has a specific purpose in the spiritual mechanics of the ritual. You might wonder why this specific method, why these particular steps. The answer goes back over 2,000 years to the earliest Kabbalistic teachings about the relationship between the physical and spiritual worlds. The ancient rabbis discovered through deep meditation and study that certain objects, numbers, and actions create predictable spiritual effects. They tested this over generations. They refined it. They documented it in texts that most people never read or understand. What I'm teaching you isn't my invention. I'm simply the messenger passing down what was passed down to me. And here's what's important. Every element of this ritual has a purpose. Nothing is arbitrary. Nothing is superstition. The coins represent materialized energy. They represent your intention for wealth made physical. They represent the divine currency of abundance. The number 3 creates spiritual completeness and alignment with patriarchal blessing. The pillow represents your consciousness, the place where your thoughts become dreams and your dreams connect to higher realms. The timing represents the optimal window for spiritual work. The words you'll speak represent the activation of divine creative power through speech, the same power the Creator used to form the universe. When you combine these elements in the right order with the right intention, you create a spiritual vortex that draws abundance energy directly into your life while you sleep. You wake up in a new energetic reality, one where opportunities, money, and prosperity begin flowing to you naturally. This is completely different from anything else you've tried because it works at the spiritual level, not just the physical level. It uses specific objects and words that have been proven for thousands of years. It requires your active participation, so you're not just wishing or hoping. You're actually doing something that creates real change. Results come fast, usually within days, and you don't need to be Jewish. You don't need special training. You just need to follow the instructions exactly as I give them. The Talmud teaches that the gates of prayer are never locked. This is the foundation of everything I'm about to show you. When you understand this principle, you understand why this method is so powerful. You're not trying to manipulate reality. You're aligning with laws that already exist, laws that respond to correct action combined with pure intention. Before you begin, you need to prepare yourself mentally and spiritually. This isn't about being perfect, but it is about being clear. Choose a time when you won't be interrupted. The ritual should be done right before you go to sleep for the night. Your bedroom should be reasonably clean and orderly, because Kabbalistic teaching says that physical disorder creates energetic disorder. Make sure you're in a calm state. If you're extremely angry, anxious, or emotionally turbulent, take some time to breathe deeply and center yourself before beginning. The energy you bring to this matters significantly. Set your intention clearly. Know exactly what you're asking for. Vague intentions create vague results. If you need a specific amount of money, hold that number in your mind. If you need opportunities, visualize what those opportunities would look like. Clarity amplifies power. Trust the process. Even if some steps seem unusual, follow them exactly. Remember, this has worked for thousands of years for countless people. Your doubts don't affect the spiritual laws, but they can affect your execution if you let them cause you to skip steps or modify the practice. Now here's what you need. The first element is 3 coins, not 2, not 4, specifically 3. In Kabbalah, we teach that the number 3 represents the 3 pillars of creation: mercy, severity, and balance. These 3 forces govern everything in the universe, including the flow of wealth. The coins should be of the same denomination. This creates energetic harmony. Using 3 different coins creates conflicting energies that can weaken the ritual. The specific denomination matters less than the consistency. Whether you use 3 pennies, 3 quarters, or 3 coins of any currency, they must match. Clean coins are preferable to dirty ones. If your coins are heavily soiled, wash them with water before use. Water in Kabbalistic teaching is a purifying element that removes negative energetic residue. Coins pass through many hands and can carry energetic imprints from previous owners. Cleaning them creates a fresh start. I've seen the 3-coin principle work miracles. I've seen it clear debt that seemed permanent. I've seen it attract opportunities that defied logical explanation. I've seen it completely reverse decades of financial struggle. This is why the number cannot be changed. The second element is your pillow. In Kabbalistic understanding, the head represents the highest part of the spiritual body. It's where divine consciousness interfaces with human consciousness. Your pillow, which supports your head during sleep, becomes the altar for this ritual. Your pillow should be the one you actually sleep on, not a decorative pillow. The energetic connection between your head and the pillow throughout the night is what charges the coins with your personal intention, combined with the spiritual energy your soul encounters during sleep. The pillow should be in its usual position on your bed. Don't move it somewhere unusual for the ritual. The familiarity and comfort of your normal sleeping position creates optimal conditions for deep sleep, which is when the spiritual work is most effective. The third element is the specific words you'll speak. The Kabbalah teaches that the universe was created through divine speech. Words have creative power because they're made of the same spiritual substance that formed reality itself. The words I'll give you are not prayers exactly. They're declarations that align your intention with divine abundance. These words should be spoken aloud if possible, but if circumstances require it, they can be spoken silently in your mind. The key is that you mean them completely. Empty words produce empty results. Words filled with genuine intention move spiritual forces. The fourth element is your clear intention. This might seem obvious, but intention in Kabbalistic practice is very specific. You must know exactly what you're asking for, not just more money, but the specific situation you want to change or the specific amount you need. Your intention should be positive, focused on what you want, rather than what you want to avoid. The spiritual realm responds to positive attraction, not negative repulsion. Rather than, I don't want to be poor, your intention should be, I welcome abundant prosperity. The fifth element is the proper timing. The ritual should be performed at night, right before sleep. The Talmud teaches that the night belongs to spiritual work, while the day belongs to physical work. By performing this ritual at night, you're working with the natural spiritual rhythm of creation. Friday nights are particularly powerful because Shabbat energy amplifies all spiritual work. However, the ritual can be performed any night. Consistency matters more than choosing the perfect night and then not following through. Now, I'm going to give you the exact procedure. Follow each step precisely. The first step is to take your 3 clean matching coins and hold them together in your right hand. Your right hand represents the column of mercy in Kabbalah, the side of giving and receiving blessing. Feel the weight of the coins, feel their texture, feel them becoming warm from your body heat. As you hold them, close your eyes and bring to mind your specific financial intention. See it clearly. If it's a number, visualize that number. If it's a situation, visualize that situation resolved. If it's an opportunity, visualize that opportunity arriving. Hold this visualization for at least 1 full minute while holding the coins. The second step is to speak the words of activation. While still holding the coins, say these words either aloud or in your mind. I open myself as a vessel for divine abundance. As these 3 coins rest beneath my head tonight, I receive prosperity from the source of all blessing. Money flows to me easily. Opportunities find me naturally. I am aligned with the universal law of abundance. Speak slowly and with complete conviction. These are not words to rush through. Each phrase carries spiritual weight. The third step is to place the coins under your pillow in a specific arrangement. Lift your pillow and place the 3 coins in a small triangle formation, with 1 coin at the top and 2 coins at the bottom. This triangle represents the stability of divine abundance and mirrors the 3-pillar structure of creation. The coins should be roughly centered under where your head will rest. They don't need to be precisely in the middle. but they should be in the general area beneath your head, not near the edge of the pillow. The fourth step is to lie down in your normal sleeping position. As you settle into bed, take 3 deep breaths. With each exhale, release any tension, worry, or doubt you're carrying. With each inhale, imagine golden light filling your body, the light of divine abundance. After your 3 breaths, close your eyes and repeat once more, silently. I receive prosperity as I sleep. I awaken to new abundance. The 5th step is to surrender to sleep. This is crucial. After completing the ritual, don't lie awake worrying about whether it will work. Don't try to stay conscious to monitor what's happening. Trust the process and allow yourself to fall into natural sleep. The spiritual work happens while you're unconscious. Your soul ascends, the coins become charged, and the energy of abundance is integrated into your life. Trying to stay awake interferes with this process. The 6th step happens in the morning. When you wake, before you get out of bed, take a moment to acknowledge the ritual. Say silently or aloud, I thank the source of all blessing for the abundance I have received and am receiving. I am grateful for prosperity in all its forms. Then retrieve the 3 coins from under your pillow. Hold them in your right hand for a moment and feel gratitude. These coins are now charged with abundance energy. The 7th step is to keep the charged coins in a special location. Don't spend these specific coins. Don't mix them with regular money. Keep them together in a small pouch or container in a location associated with money. Your wallet, your safe, a drawer where you keep financial documents. These coins become ongoing attractors of wealth energy. Some families pass charged coins down through generations, adding to their power over time. Now, after you complete all the steps, here's what will happen. Within the first 24 hours, you might feel a subtle shift in your energy. Many people report feeling lighter, more optimistic, more open to receiving. This is normal and indicates that the energetic shift has begun. Some people experience vivid dreams about money, opportunities, or abundance. Others notice synchronicities, overhearing conversations about financial opportunities, receiving unexpected calls, finding money in forgotten places. Pay attention to these signs. Within 3 to 7 days, tangible results should begin appearing. This could manifest as unexpected income, a debt being forgiven or reduced, a business opportunity presenting itself, a problem resolving that was blocking your prosperity, or an increase in sales or clients if you own a business. The key is to trust the process and not obsess over it. Do the ritual, then let it go. Continue with your normal life while remaining open to receiving. The universe will handle the rest, but it needs you to create space for abundance by not constantly worrying. Within 30 days, if you continue the practice regularly, the full transformation should become evident. Your relationship with money begins to shift fundamentally. Opportunities multiply. Financial stress decreases. You develop an intuitive sense of prosperity that guides your decisions naturally. Now, before you do this, I need to give you some critical warnings. The first warning is about intention. This ritual must never be used with the intention of harming others or taking what belongs to them. Using spiritual power for negative purposes violates divine law and creates severe consequences. I learned this from my grandfather, who told me about a man he knew in the old country who tried to use spiritual practices to steal a business from his competitor. Within a year, this man had lost everything: his health, his family, his reputation. The spiritual forces he tried to manipulate for harm turned against him completely. Use this ritual only for legitimate prosperity that doesn't require harm to others. Your abundance should add to the world, not subtract from someone else's portion. The second warning is about consistency. If you begin this practice and then abandon it, you create an energetic pattern of incompletion that can actually block prosperity worse than before you started. I've seen people do the ritual for 3 nights, see small results, become impatient, and stop. Then they wonder why their financial situation worsened. The ritual builds momentum over time. Breaking that momentum is worse than never starting. Commit to practicing this for at least 30 consecutive nights before evaluating results. If you can't commit to that, don't start. The third warning is about secrecy. The power of this practice is amplified by keeping it private. Don't tell everyone what you're doing. Don't post about it on social media. Don't discuss details with skeptical friends or family who might plant doubts in your mind. There's a Kabbalistic principle that spiritual work exposed prematurely loses its power. The energy of others' doubts and skepticism can interfere with your manifestation. Practice quietly and let the results speak for themselves. Listen carefully. This method works. It's powerful. But with power comes responsibility. If you use this for wrong purposes, if you approach it with greed rather than gratitude, or if you abandon the practice impatiently, it will not produce the results you seek, and may produce consequences you don't want. The Talmud is very clear. Measure for measure, the universe returns to you what you put out. Use this wisely. Use it with pure intention, and use it exactly as I've taught you. Let me share something deeper with you. The Talmud teaches that 3 keys remain in the hands of the Holy One, never entrusted to any messenger: the key of rain, the key of childbirth, and the key of resurrection. But there's a hidden teaching that says the key of sustenance is partially given to humans. We can influence it through our spiritual alignment. When I first studied this passage deeply with my grandfather, I didn't fully understand it. But after years of applying these teachings and witnessing their effects, I finally got it. We're not passive recipients waiting for abundance to fall on us. We're active participants in creating our prosperity by aligning with divine law. The ancient rabbis knew that specific practices could open channels of blessing that remain closed for those who don't know the secrets. They codified these practices into rituals like the one I've taught you today, preserving them through generations for those ready to receive. There was a time in my own life when I struggled financially despite knowing these teachings. I was in my 30s, married with children, and going through a period where nothing seemed to work. I knew the rituals. I had studied for years, but I hadn't applied them consistently because part of me doubted whether they would work for someone like me. Then I received news that we owed a significant tax debt that seemed impossible to pay. In that moment of crisis, I decided to practice everything my grandfather had taught me with complete commitment. I did the 3-coin ritual every night for 90 days, without missing once. Within 3 months, the tax situation was resolved through a series of circumstances that seemed miraculous. A payment plan was offered that we could manage. Unexpected income appeared from a teaching opportunity, and an old investment that I thought was worthless turned out to have value. That's when I truly internalized what I'm teaching you now. Knowing isn't enough. You have to do consistently. Over the past 40 years, I've taught this exact method to thousands of people. I've seen struggling single mothers break cycles of poverty that had lasted generations. I've seen small business owners transform failing enterprises into prosperous ventures. I've seen people burdened by debt become financially free within years. And in every single case, the ones who succeeded followed the exact steps without modification, maintained consistency, and approached the practice with genuine intention rather than greedy desperation. The ones who failed either modified the practice based on their own ideas, abandoned it too quickly, or approached it like a spiritual lottery ticket rather than a genuine alignment with divine law. Here's why this wisdom is so important right now. We're living in times of extraordinary economic uncertainty. Markets are volatile. Inflation erodes savings. Job security is disappearing. The old rules of financial success are breaking down. Most people are more stressed about money than ever